Synopsys SNPS Beginner's Guide. If you have ever wondered who actually designs the chip inside your iPhone, your laptop, or the AI servers powering ChatGPT, the answer is not really Apple or NVIDIA, it is the engineers at those companies. But they could not do their job without a piece of software made by a quiet company called Synopsys. Today we are going to walk through what Synopsys does, who it competes against, and why this not-so-famous company has become one of the most important companies in the entire semiconductor world. Quick reminder up front, this is for learning only, not investment advice. So, what does SNPS actually do? Synopsys sells the picks and shovels of the chip industry. Think of it this way, if NVIDIA, Apple, and AMD are the gold miners, Synopsys is the company selling them the tools they cannot mine without. The business has three main parts. The biggest part, about 62% of revenue at $4.4 billion, is called EDA, Electronic Design Automation. That is just software that chip engineers use to lay out, simulate, and verify a chip before it ever gets manufactured. A modern chip can have over 100 billion transistors, and no human could place those by hand. You literally need software like Synopsys' tools called Fusion Compiler and Primetime to do it. The second part, about 25% of revenue at $1.8 billion, is called Design IP, intellectual property, meaning pre-built chip building blocks that customers license and drop into their own designs. Things like the circuits that let a chip talk to memory, or the high-speed connectors that let chips talk to each other. Customers license these instead of designing them from scratch, the same way a builder buys a pre-made staircase instead of cutting every step themselves. The third part, about 11% of revenue at $757 million, but growing fast, is called Ansys S&A, Simulation and Analysis. Ansys is a company Synopsys bought in July 2025 for almost $35 billion, and it makes software that simulates how things behave in the physical world: heat, vibration, electromagnetics, structural stress. So Synopsys now covers the whole journey from designing a chip all the way to simulating the airplane, car, or robot that chip will go inside. The customers are the who's who of tech: NVIDIA, AMD, Apple, the big cloud companies designing their own custom silicon, plus the foundries that actually manufacture chips like TSMC and Samsung, and increasingly automotive and aerospace companies thanks to Ansys. So who does SNPS compete with, and how does it win? Synopsys has what investors call a wide moat, meaning the competitive advantages are deep and hard for rivals to attack. There are really only two serious competitors in chip design software, a company called Cadence, and to a lesser extent Siemens EDA. So it is basically a two-horse race, with Synopsys leading. The reasons it wins come down to three things. First, foundry co-optimization. For decades, Synopsys engineers have worked side by side with TSMC, Samsung, and Intel to make sure its software is tuned for every new manufacturing process those foundries roll out. So when chip makers go to design something at 2 nanometer scale, the most advanced chips being made today, they reach for Synopsys tools 100% of the time on critical tapeouts, which is the industry term for sending a finished chip design off to be manufactured. Competitors cannot just replicate decades of foundry relationships overnight. Second, switching costs are enormous. That means it is extremely painful and risky for a customer to switch from Synopsys to a competitor. Chip design projects take 18 to 36 months and cost hundreds of millions of dollars. Switching software vendors mid-project could add months of delay and introduce errors that cost a fortune to fix. So customers stay loyal, and Synopsys has $11.3 billion of contracted future revenue already in its backlog. Third, the company has 3,800 patents and is investing heavily in AI. Their Synopsys.ai platform already has over 5,000 engineers using it, helping design chips faster. Add in the breadth of pre-built design IP, things like PCIe 8.0 and HBM memory interfaces, which are industry standard. Synopsys often ships a generation ahead of competitors, and you have a business that is just very hard to dislodge. What are the key drivers for the business over the past 5 years? Three big forces have driven this company over the last 5 years. The first is the AI boom. As chips have become more complex, moving to 2-nanometer manufacturing, multi-die designs where multiple chips are stacked together, and specialized AI accelerators like NVIDIA's GPUs. The software needed to design them has gotten exponentially harder. That means chip makers spend more on EDA software per design than they used to. Synopsys sits right in the path of that spending. The second force is the Ansys acquisition, which closed in July 2025. This $34.9 billion deal, the biggest in Synopsys' history, expanded the company beyond just chips into simulating entire physical systems like cars, planes, and factories. It adds about $2.9 billion in annual revenue and opens up a brand new set of customers in the industrial and automotive worlds. Management expects to find $400 million of cost savings by year 3 and another $400 million of additional revenue from cross-selling Ansys products to Synopsys customers and vice versa. The third force has been hardware verification, a specialized corner of the business that makes machines called ZBU and HPS, which let chip designers test their designs at very high speed before manufacturing. With AI workloads getting so complex, demand for these tools has hit record levels in 2025, including a marquee win against the previous incumbent at a top AI chip customer. To wrap up, to sum it all up, Synopsys is the dominant software company that designs the tools used to design every advanced computer chip in the world, and it has just expanded into simulating the physical systems those chips go into. As you keep an eye on this business, 2 things are worth watching. First, the rollout of joint Synopsys-Ansys products starting in 2026, which will tell us whether the big acquisition actually delivers on its promise of connecting silicon design to system-level simulation. Second, watch the China revenue trend. Export controls have caused that part of the business to shrink, and how Synopsys navigates that geopolitical reality matters a lot. Again, this was an educational walkthrough only, not investment advice. Thanks for listening.